What's up and welcome to this video about how to design for the Apple Vision Pro and visionOS. My name is Max, and in this video I want to give you an introduction to the specifics of visionOS from a UX design perspective, talk a little bit about the Vision Pro itself, and explain insights and tips for you as UX designers who want to give this platform a shot. Worth mentioning obviously is that transitioning from the other already existing Apple operating systems, iOS, macOS and watchOS, to visionOS marks a shift towards spatial computing and immersive design. You might have heard of these terms, but I'll get to what this really means in a few minutes. So, by the end of this video, you all will be equipped with an overview of UX design on visionOS. And I guess this video is especially helpful if you haven't already gotten your hands on a Vision Pro and tried it out for yourself. Alright, let's get into visionOS. Basically, when using visionOS, we're talking about two modes or two words: immersive experiences and pass-through. This is how we differentiate from a designer perspective as well. Pass-through simply means that you can see your real physical surroundings through the cameras of the Vision Pro. Immersive is what we know as VR or virtual reality, and it creates a 360 degrees artificial environment around the user which can be controlled with the digital crown. By turning the crown, the user is able to define the mixture of immersive and pass-through that's visible through the device. The immersive experience also alters the sound, which should be then adapted to match the environment. So for instance, you hear more sound echoes in a mountain scenery. But the entire immersive sound design topic is quite huge and complex. So if you want to learn more about that, you should check out Apple's comprehensive documentation. I'll put a link in the description. If we're now looking at pass-through, the immersive dial is turned down to 0 and we can see fully through the Vision Pro. Still, we're able to place windows, and all these windows interact with real environment in a way that they will cast shadows and can be positioned in your rooms. visionOS will then remember these positions and you'll be able to configure your experience in a very custom way. These windows can have a variety of depths, ranging from 2D flat to 3D, which allows for more spatial design and more ways of interaction. Worth mentioning is that iPad apps do work natively on visionOS, which is great for us UX designers because in most cases this will make it easy to get a foot in the door of visionOS. And these iPad apps are also very easy usable from scratch, so it might not always be beneficial to redesign every UI for the Vision Pro just because you can do it. So we now know that UIs in visionOS don't need to be in 3D, but they can be 3D. This leads to the big takeaway that you don't need to be a 3D designer if you want to design for visionOS. If you want to start designing for spatial user interfaces, have a look at the best practices and deterrent examples and learn from them. I, for example, really like how Apple's Keynote app on visionOS mostly stayed as it is on iOS or even macOS, but in addition received a rehearsal feature in immersive mode. Now you might think that this looks not very impressive in this video, but it feels very convincing on the Vision Pro. Let's get back to the immersive mode for a second. Since users who are currently within an immersive experience with their immersive dial turned fully up do not see anything of their real surroundings, Apple implemented people awareness. People awareness is a feature that automatically starts as soon as the user is being approached and spoken to by another person. In this case, the user will start to see the face of the other person, and at the same time the other person will start to see the eyes on the outside screen of the Vision Pro, where before only was this gradient visible. So from this example we can learn about the importance of awareness for your environment during fully immersive experiences. While visionOS is a very young platform, we already see big improvements, for example, on the correct interpretation of object distances related to the pass-through feature. And I think we can expect a continuous improvement on the software side, which will enable us to create better experiences that help users to make the most of them and still be aware of their surroundings. When designing for visionOS, keep in mind to design for comfort, since the Vision Pro is such a physical device and it's also still very heavy, so that it can feel like you're using it with your entire body. Avoid strain and ensure the content is accessible both from a software development perspective, but also accessible physically within the experience. And then there's also the roller coaster effect, which can happen especially in an immersive experience, and users will get sick because of sudden camera movements. So user testing is really important when you're building apps for the Vision Pro. Did you know that I have just recently published my own fully fledged offering for learning UX design? It's called userexperience.school, and you can think of it as your Swiss Army knife for the UX domain. We're going to nail the basics of UX design, dive deep into user research like interviews and surveys, and get our hands dirty with Figma and FigJam, amongst other tools. And I haven't stopped there, but integrated lessons on productivity hacks, project management essentials, and even a sprinkle of psychology to understand user behavior better. So go check it out at userexperience.school. Let's now look into some hands-on examples and check out a couple of features, tools, and moments that were noteworthy for me. First, I really enjoy moments when visionOS shows its AR, so augmented reality features. This was, for example, when I connected my Bluetooth keyboard to the Vision Pro and then had the text I was typing. And we already know this UI piece from the virtual keyboard in visionOS. It was pinned on top of my physical keyboard. The same great effect is there when you want to expand the screen of your MacBook, and you will see a button floating on top of the MacBook screen to start this process. A not so good example for me is the options arrow, because it's kind of always in the way, but never there when you need it. But I have to say that coincidentally, I discovered the option to alter the vertical position of this arrow in the settings. Then another great example would be any kind of immersive video that I've seen on the Vision Pro. This includes Apple TV and Disney+. It's really something else and works very, very well. And then, even though I previously said that Keynote added the rehearsal mode, which is good, I'm kind of sad that it's not possible to join this mode as a viewer and then be able to present in this immersive experience to other people. Instead, you're pretty alone in the practice mode, but it's beautiful nonetheless. Last but not least, the process of creating a persona, which is your digital alter ego, replacing your webcam, for example, when you're on a video call, it's really nicely done. And even though I doubt it will be easily possible to use the Vision Pro kind of as an external device, I still wanted to show how Apple created this process in a very out-of-the-box thinking way, which is inspiring and well-designed. Alright, so as we wrap up this video, let's quickly recap what we've covered. We have taken a deep dive into the unique aspects and design considerations of visionOS, including the immersive experiences and pass-through, the implementation of people awareness, and the importance of ergonomics and accessibility. We've also explored some practical design tips and examples to inspire your future projects. Remember, you don't need to be a 3D designer to design for visionOS. It's all about thinking spatially and considering how the users will interact with your design in a more immersive environment. As you set off on your journey into the immersive world of visionOS and the Vision Pro, remember that this is a platform full of possibilities, ripe for exploration and innovation. As UX designers, we're at the forefront of this new era of spatial computing, and it's our job to create experiences that are intuitive, comfortable, and above all, exciting. So don't be afraid to push boundaries, to experiment, and to bring your ideas to life in this new dimension. And most importantly, let's keep learning from each other, sharing our experiences, and pushing the field of UX design forward. Let me know your thoughts about visionOS and the Vision Pro in the comments. I'd love to hear about your UIs and learn from your experiences. That's it from my end. I hope to see you soon. Bye.